Hey, good morning, guys. It's Chuck at Timber Bend Farms. Hope you're having a great day today. Haven't been on in a while, and as you can probably see, I got a haircut. But wanted to catch up with you guys and kind of let you know what's going on around here. We've had a lot go on since the last time we were recording anything, and I'm going to flip you around here in a minute and kind of show you some of the different things that are going on. We've been really busy this spring and summer here on the farm, trying to get our house started. The builders finally got started a few weeks ago, and it's kind of been a slow process. Material shortages and the like. Right now we're on a 18-week lead time on our windows for our build, and so I got that hair right there. There we go. And anyway, I think we're probably about 4 to 5 weeks into that lead time. So our builder isn't in a huge hurry, and neither are we, to get going on this house build. It's a Saturday, and the framers showed up today. They're down there getting kind of set up and things marked out, laid out, so they can hit the ground running on Monday morning. So anyway, we're just doing and got things going on. But let me flip around here and I'll show you what we got going on and how things have been progressing here on the farm. All right, so this is our high tunnel, and we had really hoped to capture every bit of the construction process and post this for you folks who are considering doing a high tunnel. But I'll tell you, we got so involved, and the instructions weren't the best in the world, and we really found it frustrating, I guess, at times. So along with the frustration and just the amount of workload that it takes to get one of these things up, we didn't get anything much on film. We have a few little things, but not much. And so brother-in-law and my dad were really instrumental in helping us get this thing up, and but we had a little setback with some of the soil that we had brought in. We had some soil that wasn't the best in the world, and so we had to pull that back out, and kind of got a late start on our growing season. But as you can see, we've got some things growing in there now. So this is a 30 by 72 high tunnel, and we applied for the grant through the NRCS program and received that grant. Now, that grant doesn't pay for all the high tunnel, but it paid for a decent portion of it. And if I had it to do over again, I might seek a different avenue for a supplier for it. Might seek one that had a crew that would come in and just put it up. I hear there's crews that'll come in and put these things up in a day. Honestly, I don't know how they do that, but I guess if you do it over and over again, then that's good. So we got some tomatoes going. Should have staked these up, but they kind of got too big and got laid over, and we could still do that. But I got some growing on cattle panels over there in those buckets. The buckets were our attempt to go ahead and get something going when we were swapping our soil out in the high tunnel. It took a little while to do that, get some new topsoil brought in, but we've got some things going now, and having trouble keeping the rabbits out of our beans. We come out one day and you'll have pretty bean plants, and they'll be up and growing, and then that's why I put these cattle panels here. And now I guess that's some kind of melon that is taking over, and but the rabbits, they love those little bean sprouts. So I think we got one plant right there that has survived the rabbits, but we got cucumbers, ground cherries, squash. So anyway, that's the high tunnel, and we're just learning. We're probably made a lot of mistakes, but we've learned from those mistakes, and we're gonna hopefully have a successful fall, and then winter crop, we're going to clean some of this out here in the near future, some things that are maturing, and then look forward to getting us some broccoli, cauliflower, some lettuce, different things growing for the winter, and some other things that would do well in a high tunnel. So if you have any suggestions for things to do differently that you see that we might have done, just let me know. I will add this. I walk back down here. Some of you may have seen this black water tank. I come across this tank fairly inexpensively, and we're using it for our watering system. Right now we have 7 drip lines run, and basically I keep that tank full, or fill it up occasionally, I guess, and then we run the drip irrigation off of that. One of the things I like about it is being on city water, so I can put the water in there and let it set for a day or two and let the chlorine evaporate out of it, and then turn it on and water our garden. And we're trying to get to where we're using rainwater. I did install a gutter on this hip board, but I don't quite have it set up right, and it's supposed to be running that direction, but it actually runs this direction. So right now we're catching water in these 2 trash cans and just dipping those out and using those to water over the top of some of our plants. And but I've got a little modification to make on that, and should be able to run that water all the way down to the other end into that 500-gallon tank. Way down there is our build site. The guys are down there working this morning. They're doing good. Today's project, this is a 3,500-gallon water tank that I purchased used from a guy, and I'm really not sure what he was using it for, other than he said he was storing water in it. And I spent a better part of the day yesterday pressure washing the inside of it, cleaning it out, and I've got to do some work on the hatch this morning, and some of that hatch was all busted off, but I gotta get that fixed up. But anyway, 7.5 feet wide. Actually, it's laying on its side now, so it's 7.5 feet wide, about 10.5 feet tall. And our goal is to set that in our lean-to that's on the back side. It'll be on the back side of our shop, and catch rainwater that comes off the shop in the lean-to. So just got some work to do today, so hang in there with us. All right, like I said, I gotta fix this hatch ring. There's holes that were busted out, and so what I'm doing, and I looked these up online. You can get a ring and a lid combination for about $50 to $60, and I had this at my shop in town, and one of my workers came through, and I was showing it to him and telling him I thought I needed a new one. He said, well, just turn it a little bit and re-drill your holes. The tank's fine, it's just this piece. So that's what I'm doing now, is going between every hole and re-drilling a new hole, and try to figure out how to recess them just a little bit with the drill bit, and then put it back on and screw the lid on it. So anyway, well, hopefully this is going to work, but I'm not much on measuring, so I'm just kind of eyeballing exactly between the 2 existing holes. I already had some of those done, so now I need to find a little bit larger drill bit to drill down. That's my new hole right there, and the old holes had this, where this ridge is, kind of had that shoulder knocked off of that rib. So I got to figure out, this is a new hole, figure out how to knock that shoulder off. So I'm going to go with a little bit bigger drill bit to let the head of the screw go down there just a little bit. I'm going to try that on one just to see how it looks. There's not much material there to work with, so I may end up just leaving them like they are and letting those screws just tighten down on that rib. The screw head may stick up just a little bit, and if it does, I may have to go with like a pan head screw or something like that. So anyway, I'm gonna try one of those to see if I can flatten that out a little bit. All right, so I changed to a 1/4 inch drill bit, and like I said, I'm gonna try to knock the shoulder off of one of those. The problem is knowing how deep to go or how deep not to go, and see if we can do this without really ruining this setup here. If I do it once, I'll have to do it 8 more times, so we'll see. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Let me go grab the screw. These are the little screws that go in it. There's a little Phillips head, I'm assuming stainless steel screw. Let's screw that in there, see if that will, what that looks like. Yeah, I kind of like that. All right, so I guess we'll go around and do that for all of these. See how that works. Well, that was about 90% successful. I had one that it seems like as soon as I touched the plastic, it just sucked the screw, or stuck my drill bit all the way through. I had a couple that had left some pretty good burrs that I'm going to dig out with my knife, and so maybe I can salvage this thing after all. I really had second thoughts about trying to drill this little chamfered edge on the top, and probably shouldn't have. Like I said, I got most of them exactly like I wanted it, but you have one that just sucked the drill bit all the way through real quick. So anyway, we'll see if I can get this set up, and I may just find a washer or a different type screw to put on that one. I'll look around here and see what I got. It's kind of tough when you're working like we are right now. You can see this is like a carport that we're under, but I call it the tractor shed. And the reason I call it the tractor shed is because we got the tractor in here, but it's also kind of become our catch-all for other stuff, and for the high tunnel and just different things. So not having my full shop set up is a little irritating. I've got things in the storage. I got things at my shop in town that I work with in there. And if I had it all together in one place, I could probably just go and pick up a different screw out of a bin and keep moving, or a washer or something. But anyway, don't have that here, and I'm not going to make a trip to town to do that today. So one little screw ain't going to hold us up, and we're not installing this tank for probably at least a couple months anyway. So hopefully, like I said, got it at about 90%. We'll see. Okay, for the one hole that I drilled a little bigger than I should have when I was trying to knock the shoulder off there, I ended up finding, this is the original screws, and I ended up finding this little washer that I think will sit on there like that, and it doesn't stick up too bad. I don't think it'll interfere with the lid too much. It'll just look a little different than the rest. But here's where I found it. Now, everybody has this. You go to the hardware store, a big box store, you buy your pack of screws for a project, and you end up with a few left over. A couple years ago, I went and bought this box. I may have gotten it at like Harbor Freight or somewhere, but anyway, I would, if I had nails left over, I'd tear the end off of the box so I'd know what they were, and I'd put what was left in these compartments. And it's not exactly accurate. There's a few that are misplaced here and there. But then, you always end up with these little screws and things left over, and it's always good to have. That's where I found that washer, was in that little compartment there. Just something I had left over from some little job. So anyway, if you keep those things around and organize them, then maybe one day it'll come in handy. You never know. Save you a trip to town. So I think it's going to work out. I got a few of the screws in, only have a couple left to get in, and it seems like it's going on and tightening up good. Just having to be careful with it because it's a little old and brittle, but yeah, I got 2 more to get in and we'll see. Okay. So this is the top. Back on a couple of these screws out a little bit and see them in. Now, I will say this. The top was not on this tank when I bought it, and there may be a reason for that. Yeah. All right. I think maybe that cover had been sitting somewhere where maybe somebody had something sitting on it. It looks like it's flared out just a little bit right there. But that's going to be good enough for our purposes, because this will be standing up. This is the top. And as long as I can keep that covered, and then and I may even use that opening or drill holes in this to get our rainwater in there, or I may drill it actually into the tank itself. I'm not sure how I'm going to get the water in there yet. So, yeah, just got to take it one step at a time and go. So this is one little project I needed to finish up for today. I did notice there was a little clot of dirt that was caught up on the bulkhead connector down there on the inside that I didn't get washed out yesterday, and I couldn't see it real good. So I just took a big long piece of PVC pipe and knocked it off, and now I got to hook it up to the truck, tilt the dump trailer back, let that dirt roll down here to this end, and then get that all swept out and cleaned up. But yesterday, other than that clot of dirt that was in there, went through this with some cleaner, sanitizer, and it's really pretty clean inside. So once I get this last little clot of dirt cleaned up, I think we'll be good to go to store water in it. We'll probably cycle some rainwater through it a couple times before we actually trust that and run it through our filtration system. But anyway, one more step in the process.